Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Torchwood. Last time on Torchwood, we had Immortal Sins. Basically, we revealed who the villain is of this season. It's a man by the name of Angelo Colasanto, who met Jack back in the 1920s, and tried to be Jack's companion, but it didn't work out very well. And Jack ended up dying, and then he came back, which freaked Angelo the fuck out. And then a bunch of people came in to see this miracle that Jack was, and it was terrifying. And then at the end, Angelo broke Jack free, and then Jack was like, yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna be around you anymore. And then we cut back to the present, where Gwen has dropped off Jack, basically, with the people that have her family, and luckily Rex and Esther were there to save them, and Andy back in Wales saved the family, but Jack is still going to go with these people because they are going to take him to Angelo. So that's basically that. Yeah. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's stick to this episode and previous episodes of Torchwood, the Sarah Jane Adventures, Doctor Who, and Doctor Who classic that I've reacted to. Oh, God. Sorry, I'm a little sweaty. That's alright. But not the point. The point is, let's get into this episode of Torchwood. Here we go.
She's gonna keep an open relay to a hard drive back in Los Angeles. If we go through those doors and disappear, then we have a record, okay? So, tell your goons to leave her alone.
Come on, Angelo's inside.
Alright. They have a plan. I like this. I love how teamy they are now.
He's still alive. He's still young.
Oh, yes, he's still alive.
Wait, you didn't answer the question of is he still young?
He's still very much alive, but he's not young. My
Oh,
grandfather
God.
waited all this time to live forever.
Grandfather. That makes sense. Yeah. That's the same guy. Is that the same actor? Oh boy. Poor Angelo. I mean, Jack doesn't even really understand how he's immortal. Oh great, Bill Pullman's back. But still, like, it's the power of the TARDIS.
Hold on, though. He didn't cause this. Angelo didn't cause the miracle.
No.
He's not a part of
He
it.
lived this long.
He's not the
through
villain.
natural means. Because my grandfather wasn't alone.
Who are the others?
Well, the story says that it started with 3 men, each representing a different family. And when
The
you
arm
read
thing.
record over the Abel March family, the Costerdane family, and the Friends.
Abel March, Costerdane, Fries. Did you get that?
Abel March, Costerdane.
Costa with a T-E-R?
It's Costa with a T-E-R. Yeah, T-E-R.
Yeah, TER. It's cool.
Literally, there's no such names. There's nothing. It's blank. They don't exist.
Freeing that guy.
I wonder which spot is memories or personality.
That's exactly what he said.
You're responsible.
Yeah, well, he should have waited for me, the fat
Oh.
ass.
Oh, John Delancey's the head of the CIA. I love it.
No, they'll be tracing him.
Transmit from where? You're not wearing the wire. We already checked.
He stole them.
Nice. I like
Mr.
that.
Shapiro, you've got a confession from Brian Friedkin.
You see, once my heart rate hits 120, that's a signal to transmit.
It activates.
on every
Nice.
frequency and on every monitor within 100 feet.
Oh my gosh, this team is so good now.
I needed to get back inside, which meant laying a trap for you.
Ah, right in his chest wound. Why did they never cauterize it?
It's over.
Did you sleep with her?
Pardon me?
No, sir, I did not.
Because most women that bitter you slept with.
No, she's just Welsh.
Torchwood is going to work for the CIA?
I think the CIA can work for Torchwood
Ooh.
if you're lucky.
We got a plane ready and waiting.
Everyone throw your weight.
What are you doing?
It's all about the family in the end. They said that they would get mine.
Oh no! It's a bomb! Oh! And then he exploded.
Did you see Yanto?
Aww.
You'd have liked him. Or maybe not. You'd have been jealous.
Oh, now I miss the old team.
What's the point of that? He's sick, I know. Tell me something new.
Wait, is he dying? Jack, I feel like there's a better way around that. He's dead, isn't he? Whoa! He's actually dead, isn't he?
He's dead!
Well, that's just weird.
In colostomy bags. Anyway, they
Wait,
were
are
thinking
the-
you and she could share the spot.
Are the numbers projected onto the wall? Why would you do that? Just put a number.
Next,
Get me a girl.
How old?
Legal age. A redhead.
His fucking character. It's such a love-hate character. Cause man, does Pullman portray this guy brilliantly, but
I had to.
This won't go over well.
For your own good.
I know. I get that, yeah.
Oh, it's going over better.
That's why I know you'll understand.
I don't like that.
I want to volunteer.
Oh.
What?
Category 1.
Oh.
What about the girls? Think about the girls.
I've put them on the list too.
No.
Sometimes I wonder
Given the lack of resources, the camps will open up again.
like someone planned it.
Yeah. But does that include 2008 as well? I mean, was that part of the plan? Like the first stage?
Could be.
That would be interesting.
Manipulative for decades.
But look, it's not part of the original design. It can't be.
Esther, seriously, listen to me. Don't say another word. Just leave it.
Come on, Jack.
Right now.
We have a lead.
This is a hell of a lot better than nicotine gum, let me tell you. You know what the rumor is from Washington?
Oh.
If cancer cells are immortal.
I get it. Keeping the thing about the floor quiet.
I think there's something under the floor.
Aw. Man. But we were a nice team. Yeah, there's something there.
And what does it do?
Well, mostly proves my theory that immortality is caused by some kind of morphic field.
Oh my gosh.
You know
What he's
what's
been saying
causing
since
the
episode
rework?
2.
No.
Maybe we could have dinner. On room service.
Does he just want to be normal?
I'm sorry, you mean like a date? If you want us to pretend that you're normal, no way.
This is not going to go over well.
No.
If you want to be a changed man, you're running out of time. The way I heard it, you've been classified at category 0.
Whoa.
What's category 0?
Oh,
Damn.
that day is gonna come.
Whoa.
Category 0 is you.
Huh. And this girl means business. She's like half his size and she had no craps about this. American hero right there.
Your freedom. There's an emergency mandate being passed through Congress defining a new category 0, meaning people who have earned themselves a place in the ovens.
Oh.
Reasons.
The death penalty.
Always sentenced to death.
How long have you known?
She going out that window?
Have you known about this?
Oh, okay. Oh! This girl's ready to fight back. Oh, he's just outie.
Now listen to me quickly. I broadened the transmission so it's nullifying sound waves.
Oh.
Outside the field can hear us.
They can't hear.
It's alien technology. The only examples of it on Earth were in the Torchwood hub.
Huh.
They were buried in the ruins.
Yeah.
Angela had people watching.
He must have salvaged it knowing the miracle was coming.
So what did he do? Trigger it with your DNA or something?
Shielding one side from radiation while the other side burns.
Yeah.
This thing would be the end of us. This timeline would be terminal.
Jack, listen to me.
We can't.
Okay, we are the CIA.
This is a genuine
Come on,
CIA
man.
operation. This is history, Rex. This is everything. Please get me out.
It's not the CIA anymore. It's Torchwood.
I'm gonna say that Oswald Danes is on the run with all his old appetites. It's gonna be the biggest witch hunt this country's ever seen.
Oh, crap.
Charlie, can you give us a second? This is a friend.
Oh, they still need him, don't they?
You're being watched by a CIA field agent.
Me? Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah. The family's figured it out.
You're being considered for a promotion.
Oh, well, good.
That's not, we're way above Phi Corps.
Yeah.
Who are you?
We're family business.
Huh.
Interested? She's with us now.
Thanks.
Ah, crap. Yeah, we need to leave the CIA.
Love records. There's tons of this stuff. Sorry, am I interrupting?
Oh, no. It's just a family thing, that's all.
Ah!
All right, let's get started. The whole world's depending on us.
Oh my gosh. These freaking family puns.
Hey, stop!
Don't just go!
Oh, crap. You got shot.
Stay where you are!
Oh,
He
we're...
saw me. Rex, he saw me. He saw me. Rex, he saw me.
No, you can't stay. You definitely...
Alright, and Esther's going too.
The euro has exacerbated the financial crisis.
Can you hear me?
Encouraging some countries to behave as recklessly as the banks themselves.
Man, Gwen's on the way back to the UK. Everything's going to hell.
God, I don't know what to do.
Come on, Jack. Oh, he's still there.
Oh my God. I don't know what to do.
Oh, don't be it. Don't be it. Ah! Ah! I'm so hooked on this season now. Ah! Oh. Is my hair like weirdly parting? Or is it just the light? It looks okay. Problem is my bangs are curling. Not important. Torchwood. Oh, I'm so hooked on this season now. This is nice now. I say that. What were the other episodes, by the way? Because it didn't just pick up at episode 7, did it? Like, let me look back. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's like it's like in the middle of this season, it took a slight dip, just a slight dip, and then just came right back to where we were. I feel like, I don't know. It's like we took the slightest of dips because we were still like, working on getting everything working and stuff like that, and getting the plot and stuff like that. But now with last episode giving us the whole backstory on Angelo, and now this is pretty good. I really like this now. Alright. So, it's not Angelo. Angelo's not the villain. I thought Angelo was going to be the villain. But no. The purpose of the backstory with Angelo was to show the family. The three in the family that found Jack and created the miracle. For what I can only assume, they actually use the miracle. I can only assume that they're using the miracle to destroy the world, basically. That kind of seems to be it, like, because, which is an interesting thing. It's like, letting everyone live will destroy the earth, but the earth is collapsing. Like, everything is going to hell, basically. The banks are closing and stuff like that. It's crazy, man. So, yeah, but Angelo is not the villain. Angelo is not the villain, which is interesting. That was sort of... I don't know. I mean, even last episode, it was still kind of shaky. It's like, okay, is the villain Angelo? And it's like, well, we're taking you to Angelo, who knows how the miracle started. But at the same time, we still saw the three guys, doing their thing, making their deals. So it was, even though yes, a lot of the time last time, I was constantly saying Angelo is the villain. Angelo is the villain. Angelo's not the villain, which is interesting. But yeah, it was still sort of like shaky. Like, is Angelo the villain? Is he a villain in this? So yeah, now we know it's not Angelo. It's the three families, which I need to go back and listen to their names. Let me see. I'm gonna get their names.
They made a deal.
Yeah. What were their names again? I just need to hear it so I can write it down.
They formed an alliance to purchase the power of resurrection. And when you escaped, the three families swore that they'd find the gift again.
What were their names?
The Able March family.
Here it is. Okay, the Able March family. Let me write this down. Able March, Costerdane, and the Frines. Okay, I had to get that down. Although, we're not really... It doesn't seem to be... Like, we're just sort of calling it the families now. It's like, and that's the thing is, they keep making puns about it. It's like, well, who's above Ficor? And it's like, well, that would be a family matter or something. Oh, family matters. But yeah. Or like the woman who was in the CIA, was talking and was just like, oh, don't worry, it's a family matter. Oh, God. I love that, though. I like that they all have family puns. I think that's fun. But yeah, so we have the three families. The Able March, the Costerdanes, and the Frines. So that's interesting. These families that were started by these three men who are completely off the grid. They're completely off the grid, and they were never even on the grid. That's the other thing. They were never on the grid, but the only way that we know about them is because Angelo was working with them for a while. But at the same time, they didn't keep him around. Like, they didn't keep him in as much as maybe they should have, or they would have had he not been gay. But yeah, so that's interesting, and they do have to specifically mention that, because it's like, this hinges on Jack's old boyfriend, and it's like, well, and now here's his granddaughter, and they have to specifically mention, it's like, and I'm sure, he loved my grandmother very much, but it's like, they have to make special point of that, because it's like, yeah, it's like, here's this gay man, and he has a granddaughter, and it's like, it's almost like you shouldn't have to connect the dots, like, you can just, like, it just sort of occurs in your head. It's like, okay, well, either he did get married and have a kid, like, maybe he's, bisexual, or he just adopted or something. It's like, you do have to, it's almost like you have to make the connection in your head as to why, but at the same time, the show did that for you. So, I don't know, that's always one of the things about it. It's like, it's like in your head, you just, like, in the back of your head, you make that connection. It's like, well, how, if he's gay, how did he have a granddaughter? It's like, it's just the one thing, and it's a tiny thing, and I wish that wasn't a thing. It's like, we're going on a huge tangent here, but it is one of those things where it's like, in a TV show, when someone just says in passing that, they're LGBT, it is just, I don't know, for some reason, it's always like, when, like, let's say a guy is like, well, my husband is waiting at home, it's like, it's a completely throwaway line, and that's fine, and it's great. That's great to have some more representation. That's incredibly great. But in the back of my head, like, I'm just like, oh, so he's gay. And it's like, that's always like in the back of my head. I know I'm going on a weird tangent, but it's like every time that happens, it's just right in the back of my head. That little thing pops up. That little thing is that just tiny little remark is, oh, they're gay. It's like it always just pops up. It's never, I don't know. And I guess we're just not to that point where I just hear that and I just don't even like give a second. Because if like in a show, this is the point of this. If in a show a character was like a male character was like, oh yeah, well, I had to, call my wife last night and stuff. It's like, I don't even give that a passing thought. But for that, I do give it a passing thought. It's like just one tiny little thought in the back of my head. It's like, oh, and it's not even like, oh, I'm against that. No, obviously, I'm not against that at all. I'm not against, LGBT or anything. But it's just one little thought in the back of my head, and it's not even, it barely qualifies as a thought. It's just, oh, okay. And that's it. That's just all. I don't know. Weird tangent, but whatever. But because of that, Angelo was not really involved with the three families, despite the fact that he was somewhat involved. Which, that's the thing. It's like, Angelo is not the villain of this season, but he's basically the catalyst of this season. He's the catalyst, him meeting Jack and, being freaked out by Jack's power. That basically jump-started this whole Miracle Day plot. So, that's interesting. We got a bit more of Friedkin. He was kind of funny. I like them, Rex taking the contacts and using it to record him. That was really cool. I love in this episode, there's just so much of a team now. I love it. It's like they're really good at this now. So yeah. And then Friedkin just exploded and took friggin', what's her name? Olivia Colasanto with him. And that one agent. So yeah, he blew himself up for the family. And then I like Shapiro. He's so fun. Maybe because it's John Delancey, and I've known John Delancey from Star Trek, being Q and stuff like that, which is kind of the only role I've ever known him to be in. But I remember this is a bit off topic, but I actually did know he was in Torchwood because someone told me that he was. Okay, hear me out. This is gonna sound weird, but someone told me they saw when he was at a panel for Torchwood back in 2011, I guess. But he was at a convention for Torchwood, and he was on the panel, and he was actually talking about My Little Pony because he's in that, but someone just told me about him talking about it, and he was like, and they were like, oh yeah, so he was on this panel for Torchwood. And so yeah, that's kind of how I knew he was in Torchwood. So yeah, that's just funny. So I've actually been waiting, and I think I knew he was in series 4. But yeah, I did not know when he would ever show up. And so finally in this, we're getting down to the wire, but finally in episode 8, John Delancey shows up, and he's just fun. He's such an asshole, but I really like it. He was a lot of fun. So, hopefully we get to have a little bit more of him before the end here, because we are getting down to the wire. We only have 2 more episodes, pretty much. Okay. So, Angelo's dead, which is crazy. I didn't think that would actually happen. That was a weird scene. Can we just say that? I get what they were trying to do, but that was a really weird scene to lead to his death. That was really weird when Jack's just you need to tell your equipment that nobody can die anymore. And then he just gets so annoyed by all the beeping that he just unplugs it. Like, he unplugs Angelo's, like, life support system. And then he just kind of looks and he's just like, wait a minute. And then he scans him and he gets all serious and he's like, oh crap, Angelo's actually dead. So, yeah, that's interesting. That was a really weird scene leading up to that. Jack kind of joking around about, the machines and stuff. Until eventually leading to him discovering that Angelo was actually dead. Which kind of sucks. I kind of wish that Angelo got a few lines, with Jack. Even if he was old, that would have just been nice. Just have a few lines where he acknowledges that Jack is there. But no, he didn't say a word, and now he's dead. So, yeah, that's interesting. But that's also interesting because Angelo is dead, and it's like, how did that happen? Since the first episode, nobody has died at all, and suddenly this guy dies. The first person to die in weeks on this show. So yeah, so that's interesting. Let's see, what else do we got? It's interesting how they reference 2008 with all the economic crisis in 2008. I thought that was just kind of funny. It's like, was that planned too? It's like, whoa, guys. It's like, all right, I get what they were saying. And it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to think about. I don't know. I kind of remember 2008. That's the weird thing. Yeah, that is the weird thing. I remember that. Ooh, these shows are catching up with me. Oh, God. Yeah, I slightly remember 2008. I was in 6th grade when, I guess it was the end of 2008 when Obama won. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's the thing is, I was in 6th grade. I don't remember it. I actually have pretty bad long-term memory problems, so I don't remember. It may be, some of you might think this is really sad, and I guess it kind of is, but I actually don't remember a lot of my childhood. I remember a decent amount, but at the same time, it's like there's a whole lot of it that's just sort of gone, and it's like, well, that's just gone. I do remember a decent amount. I remember enough that it's okay. I wish I could kind of forget high school. I was an asshole in high school. But, yeah, so, yeah, there's a whole lot. Like, I don't know. That's another tangent. We're going on tangents in this discussion, so yeah. I definitely, anything before the age of 7, I don't remember, like, whatsoever. I don't remember anything before I was 7, at the very least. Anything before high school is a little tricky. Like, I kind of remember middle school, but then again, that's starting to get fuzzy as I get older. Before, like, I remember just specific moments, but that's about it. But enough about my horrible memory problems. Okay, so 2008, that was just kind of interesting the way they mentioned that. It also reminded me, it reminded me of Doctor Who, because we had a lot of that in the End of Time. During the End of Time, when Wilf was talking about Obama's gonna fix the economy and stuff like that. It's like, I just kind of remembered that when they brought up 2008. It's like, obviously, this series of Torchwood aired in 2011, which I slightly remember. I remember Captain America came out that year. That's all. And Captain America, the First Avenger, that's my favorite movie of all time. Little known fact. Anyway. But yeah, so this was a couple years, this was 3 years after, no, this would be 2 years after, This would be 2 years after the end of time, because that was 2009, 2010. Yeah, that was the end of 2009 and the beginning of 2010. Right. But yeah, I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of that. And then so when they mentioned it's like, oh, was 2008 planned? It's like, I thought of 2008, which made me think of the economic crisis, which made me think of Obama, which made me think of Wilf talking about Obama, which made me think about the Master becoming everyone in the entire world, which made me remember how fucking goofy that special was. Anyway. So yeah, that's a train of thought there. Okay. Fucking Esther's sister. It's like... Okay, the whole volunteering for Category 1, I mean, that's effed up already. And it's sad that, she would do that. Basically, you're volunteering to die at this point because Category 1s will be burned, basically. So yeah, so that's already, pretty screwed up. But then when she says, like, well, who's going to take care of the girls? And the sister is just like, well, I volunteered them too. It's like, fuck you! Fuck off with that! Don't let your daughters die because you're insane. It's like, okay, that's the thing. It's like, okay, Esther, you need to go pull your weight, make sure, like, okay, the daughters are already in, like, foster care, aren't they? So I don't think she has any power over them. Which you could also argue, when Esther says, like, who's going to take care of the girls? And it's like, their foster parents, duh. They were put in the foster system, weren't they? Ugh, anyway. But yeah, that's another thing that, like, pissed me off. It's like, don't kill your daughters because you're insane. Anyway. The stuff with the floor was interesting, and the whole... So I thought we were now gonna go on with this series, with the full support of the CIA, but apparently we're not doing that. Jack doesn't trust them. He especially doesn't trust them with the technology of the null field. So yeah. So yeah, that's interesting, and the constant back and forth on, because Rex fully believes in the CIA and stuff like that, and Jack would rather just do things, his way as Torchwood. So it is a conflict of ideologies there, and it seems like they're trying to do both now. Jack is going to do his own thing, but Rex is staying behind to work with the CIA, which may not work out depending on how many, family members are within the CIA. So, yeah. Can you hear that I'm popping my knuckles? I'm doing my best not to pop my knuckles on camera anymore. I hope you like that. Like, even during the editing, when I see... Because I can see, on the little waveform, just... Like, I can see that. I don't know if me doing a mouth click helped at all. But when I see that on... you probably heard that. Whenever I see that on the waveform, I just cut that out now. I cut them out as best I can. Because you guys don't like it. You guys have made your voices heard about my knuckle cracking, and you don't like it. So, that's fine. I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to do it where you can't hear it. Ah, there we go. Makes me wonder if you've been able to hear my neck crack when I do that after episodes. Anyway, so it's definitely a conflict of ideologies between Jack and Rex. Which, I mean, the two of them have been conflicting since the beginning, And, because it's like, we finally had a team and we were really good, and now we're all split up, and it's like, come on. Ugh. Anyway. Category 0. Man, the family's going to drop Oswald Danes like a lead balloon. Yeah, they're going to dump him at the first chance he gets. I like that. And, I like that because, okay, we haven't had Oswald Danes for 3 episodes, I think. I think the last episode he was in was episode 5. This is episode 8. So he's been gone... Well, no, if he's been gone for... Well, was he gone in episode 5? Maybe he was. I don't remember. But he's been gone for a couple episodes now. And it's like, after everything that's happened in these past couple episodes, with the backstory on Angelo and everything, it's like... Then it cuts back to Oswald Danes, and it's like, oh yeah, this fuck is still part of the show. I forgot about him. So yeah. So when they cut back to him, it's like, what is his purpose? Like, I feel like we've moved past him. It's like, now we're going with the full backing of the CIA, which is what I thought. And, we're going with the families over FICOR, and we're really focusing on them. FICOR doesn't matter anymore. Teddy Sears even said that. So yeah, it's like, but then it's like, so we still have Oswald Danes, and it's like, oh, they're gonna get rid of him too. The families don't actually want him. They were just using him, and they're about to drop him. So yeah, and it's interesting that they've this freaking prostitute that I guess she specializes in senators, so she knows about Category 0. And yeah, that whole scene was just interesting. This prostitute, this American hero prostitute, this woman gave no crap. She is like half the size of Oswald Danes, and she does not care. She is giving him the business, and putting him down and all that stuff. Even though he could assault her. We saw him assault Jilly, but no, she did not back down and was just like, doesn't matter, you're Category 0 anyway, and she just left. So yeah, so that was interesting. And Category 0, which is going to be defined as anyone who could, under normal circumstances, receive the death penalty, which Oswald Danes did get. He did get the death penalty. That's the thing, he was executed, and then he came back through the miracle. So yeah. So I just like that. But now he's on the loose. We don't know where the heck he is. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see where we go with him. At this point, he's a loose cannon. He could do anything. So yeah. The whole thing with the null field was interesting. Just this little floor panel, basically, that nullified the effects of the morphic field that the family created around the Earth. So they created the morphic field to nullify death, and then Angelo created this specific small null field around his bed, under his bed, so that it would nullify the effects of the nullification of death, therefore letting him die now. So anyone who stood on that, in theory, would be mortal again. But at the same time, Jack, changed it, because he does secretly know how it works. Jack changed it in order to, nullify sound so he could talk to Rex and Esther. And then he took the alpha plate, which controls the whole thing. Without the alpha plate, that's just metal there. So it'll be interesting to see where we go with that. Honestly, if I was Jack, I would configure that plate. I would see if you could reconfigure that plate to nullify what the miracle has done to Jack. That way Jack would then be immortal. And it's possible he did that, because he got shot. He got shot in the gut, and he's still alive without any medical attention. So I would assume he did do that in order to get his powers back, basically. So that would be interesting. Jilly's getting a promotion. I thought Teddy Sears coming in meant that, they were pissed about what's happening with Oswald Danes. But no, he came in to give her a promotion. And oh shit. He came in to give her a promotion, and yeah, so we'll have to see where we go. She's moving on up in the family, so that's pretty cool. And then the end of episode 8, we have a split up. Gwen, who's being deported back to Wales. Fucking Shapiro. Rex, who is staying with the CIA, which might not be a good idea because CIA is, some people are evil. I don't think Shapiro is part of the family. I don't think that at all. But Rex needs to be careful because there's at least one person in the CIA that's part of the family. So yeah. And then Esther and Jack, they're just going. They really don't know where. Esther doesn't know where she's driving. They just know that they're going. So yeah, the team has been split up before the final 2 episodes, but that I assume that just means we're gonna get back together in the end. So yeah, great episode. Really enjoyed it. This season, man, I'm really enjoying this season. Took a little bit to find its footing, to really get going, but this has been pretty good. I'm really enjoying this. So yeah. So yeah, that is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Torchwood reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description.